All right, everybody. Welcome back to another Reup Productions Podcast. Today we have RJ Curington from Curington Law. RJ, thanks for being on the episode.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm very excited to get to talk to you, which I say to everyone, which is just funny. I just have been noticing it. But I am excited to talk to you because we don't get that many real estate attorneys on. You're actually our second one that we've ever done, but keeping it within real estate, the attorney is a part of it. So can you kind of talk to me about what got you started into the real estate law? How long you been doing it?
Sure. So 2 years or so I've been into it, 3 years total outside of law. Was doing some lending at Gold Coast Bank, and that really got my eyes open into the real estate world. And then after a long law school period and taking the bar exam and all that stuff, went out on my own, started my law firm, Curington Law, and 2 years later, here we are, and it's been fun.
Cool. What's been the biggest, culture shock, or not even culture shock? What's been the biggest thing that was kind of hard to adapt to getting into real estate law?
Sure. Just figuring out the game, so to speak, figuring out the real estate and all the players involved, and how they all combine and correlate to close on a deal. So the contractual terms, the different title and the title concerns and the way the title works with a lot of these residential deals and commercial deals, and making it all mesh together and finding good footing.
Did you have someone that kind of helped you, mentor you through that, or was that just like, we're going to figure this out?
Yeah, I think a lot of people that helped me out, because going out on your own, it's tough.
It's scary.
It's scary. I mean, you really have no frame of reference besides, general information. So really relied on a lot of help from real estate attorneys that were doing it. Shout out to everyone. You know who you are.
Shout out, no free shout out.
Yeah, all of you, thank you for helping me. And yeah, just like kind of learning as I go.
Cool.
And not being afraid to ask questions when I don't know things.
Yeah, that I would probably something that hindered us from growth for a long time was us not going out and getting more help from people. For us, maybe it was a pride thing, and we're like, we can do it. And then once we started asking more questions, like we were talking about earlier, and just kind of picking more people's brains and doing things that other people had already done, it really has helped us grow much faster. We've learning from mistakes.
100%. And doing a lot of the research too. Doing independent research has helped me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's helped you, just figuring out, what's the best way to go about things. The information gathering was key for me.
Yeah.
Just in those questions where, you may not have someone to ask, or they don't know the exact specifics. So you got to really do the independent research, especially for legal. There are a lot of tricky
loopholes?
Things. Trying to avoid the loopholes, trying to stay ethical and everything. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out.
So what do you see yourself as far as within the business? Are you seeing more residential, more commercial? What for you has kind of been your niche?
Sure. A lot of residential.
Cool.
Love residential. Love getting, we're helping in the closing process, helping clients on the buy-sell side. I've seen a lot of cash deals recently, which is great. I mean, it means people have money that they've been, kind of sitting on and waiting for the market to cool, and they're jumping on those opportunities. And then a lot of estate sales, a lot of creative financing type of deals, and investors. This is their time now. Seen a lot of that too.
Yeah, investors.
Oh yeah, big time.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, investors are hungry for opportunity.
Okay.
And different market trends. They're like, oh, let me hop on a 2 to 4 unit. Let me hop on a commercial deal and see where we go from there. Just as far as getting different lenders and private lenders and things that can help them. And so they are jumping on the opportunity.
Cool. So I was saying this, I was kind of mentioning, I haven't really talked to that many real estate attorneys, so my knowledge of the industry is pretty limited.
Sure.
So talking to someone that is a novice, what are some things about what you do that maybe the average person doesn't quite get, or what makes it advantageous to like really make sure that you have a good one? Because
Definitely.
isn't Illinois not required to have one?
So not required, but definitely encouraged.
Yeah.
I think that, you actually do need one, just as far as title concerns. There needs to be like a title agent that's an attorney for most of the deals.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why do you think that's beneficial?
Yeah, a lot of reasons. The contracts, reviewing contracts, making sure everything's tidy in the sales contract in a residential deal. Making sure that it's favorable to clients and fair, and then also title issues that stem back from a large or long chain of title, making sure that title is free and clear from mortgages, liens, and encumbrances. I mean, that's the big thing, but also negotiating and making sure that the client's getting a good deal, and education. There's a lot of different complexities, different zoning, regulations and things like that an attorney does on a day-to-day basis that others kind of maybe gloss over or don't look into as intensively as attorneys.
So you're really making sure that you're crossing all your I's and crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's.
100%.
Okay, cool. Well, that's great. I mean, you always need someone on your side, especially in a process like buying a new home, which is murky to most people.
It is.
Unless you've done it 2 or 3 times. Do you have a specific range of people that you're seeing more of? Like, are you seeing more of the first-time home buyer, or is it kind of all over?
It's all over the place. I love my first-time home buyers and educating them on the process.
Hell yeah.
Like because it's murky. It's anxiety-inducing. Like long nights that I've been up on the phone with clients. Just kind of acting as a therapist. Just kind of calming them down, getting them at ease, and letting them know this is an important transaction in your life. And I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to help you.
Some say it's the most important.
Oh, definitely. Oh, man. Yeah. And I agree with it 100%, But I've seen them, first-time home buyers, in a large range, millennials, Gen Z, all different types of generations. And seen a lot of just seasoned investors, too. That's another demographic.
Yeah. So one thing I kind of want to say to you too, since you're essentially a young entrepreneur, right?
Yep.
You have your own business. How is figuring out the way, and more of the business sense, how have you figured out a way to kind of figure out your processes?
Yeah.
This is something that always interests me the most, really.
Sure.
It's like business. Like, how have you figured it out? What are you struggling with?
Definitely. It's a daily practice,
Right,
I wake up and I'm like, what's next, or what do I need to do? But it really is a lot of just asking questions, and then doing what works best. If something works for someone else, it's not always going to work for you. But if you find that those systems in place, then you got to stick with those and keep building from there. Add on things. I kind of think of it as like sports analogy. I'm a sports guy. Played in college.
Oh, really?
I did.
What'd you play?
Basketball.
Where at?
DPU, baby.
Let's
DePaul
go.
University.
Really?
Blue Demons.
When?
Go Blue Demons. So I played a couple years ago from 13 to 17.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, it was a good time.
Did you guys go to the playoffs? Did you guys make March Madness? I'm sorry. The tourney?
Yeah, we went to the Big East tournament in the Big East.
You were there when it was the Big... Oh, yeah, okay.
Every year it was still the Big East.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately didn't do March Madness. But it was a fantastic experience.
DePaul, though, has had some pretty solid teams.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every year there's good teams, good coaches. And we're just, getting better every year, trying to get over the hump.
Yeah.
Because we always get talent. But, it's tough. But I try to use that those same theories and
principles.
Thank you. And principles for business. Getting up earlier than everyone else, working late. Staying late in the gym, and just repetition. Getting in as many reps as possible, and then making sure my form is right. As I'm forming my shot.
Yeah.
You got to make sure your form is right. And you got to make sure you know the rules and everything, and it really does take, that practice to really, improve and get better and feel comfortable being a business owner.
That is, I'm not gonna claim to be like some sports anything.
Did you play anything?
I wrestled.
I wrestled. Oh.
Yeah. So
really?
I played football. I played baseball. I wrestled. I never got much bigger than this after my freshman year, so those other things didn't last. But I was really a wrestler, and that was what I did. But the ability to grind, like to repetition of something.
Are there positions in wrestling, or is it just
weight classes?
Weight class.
Yeah.
That's right.
So back in the day, I was pretty small, like 135, 130. Time has thickened me up. That's the years of life. You got to be more sturdy as you keep going.
Okay,
that's what I say.
I like that.
But no, the idea.
Good, man.
I guess. Thank you. I look better.
You look good. I'm telling you. It's important. Health is important.
But the ideas of repetition.
Oh, 100%.
Of like doing the same move again and again and again. That stuff's invaluable. Or like stuff that still sticks with me as well, even in my business.
Sports. Go ahead.
Well, I guess people think of creativity and like doing all this as like free flowing, but like with anything, there's a systematic approach that you have to take to creativity, because if not, it's just like you're all over the place.
All over the place.
You'll color within the lines.
Yes.
Which is, I don't know.
Some people can do that, and I commend them. But for me, and as I said, for you, have to have a methodological approach, and that allows some room for spontaneity and some creativity. But you got to have those methods in place. That's just me, though. Those principles from sports are definitely invaluable.
Cool. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. That's one of the best parts about this thing is getting to talk to people and then learning more about them, not only personally, but the philosophy on life and how they see business, because that to us is kind of the biggest thing.
Another thing about that, and I think we're probably going to get into it, but just the in real estate, teamwork is just huge.
Totally.
Huge. And we want to win championships, and we can do that together. In the real estate realm, because we're all trying to get to one goal, and that's to either to help the client achieve their real estate goal.
Yeah.
Whether it's selling or buying a house or investment property, whatever it is, making sure that they get there, and we all work as a team. The lender, the title company, the agents, the attorneys, we all work together. So when I see kind of combative, I'm like, okay, that's one aspect of sports that it doesn't really apply, because we're all on the same team. It's not our rivals or anything like that. Even at the negotiation table, it's like we're working together to come to an agreement so that our clients are at the end of the day very happy. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I never really thought about it like that.
And the people I work with, I'm like, I work with you, and I'm working with you. I want to win a championship with you, and I want to celebrate the championship. It's like, all those sports theories and principles really apply. Because that's a big part of that about it. I always give my clients a gift at the end, and I give everyone I work with just praise, because it's like we did this together.
Yeah, which is it seems like too, which is not that easy of a thing to do. Like there's a lot of emotions.
Oh yeah.
There's, sometimes it's your whole life, right? And like maybe it's a lot of the money that you've saved in your life, and it's like it's got to get high emotion sometimes.
Oh, yeah. It's so personal.
And for you're got a great calming effect.
Thank you.
They probably hear you talk, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna be fine. Yeah. We're definitely gonna hire you because your voice is sick. But
thank you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that how you're taking like principles of life and like bringing it into the business, or principles that you've learned throughout life in other realms, and now implementing it into business. Because I think that at the nutshell is like kind of what we're doing here. And it's that simple, right?
Yeah. We
always say keep it simple, stupid, and
keep
do what you do.
Simple, stupid. Keep it simple, baby.
Cool. All right. Well, I kind of want to go into the next segment. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Obviously your idea of a team might separate you. What do you think separates you as a law attorney or a real estate law attorney that other people might not have, or you think's missing within your industry?
Yeah, just the level of care with clients, really being there for them 24/7, Like I get weekends, you need to separate work from life, but what separates me is that I'm accessible 24/7. I care about clients. I'm there for them. I can drive out and spin to see them, or get documents to point A to point B. Some clients that are out of state, I go the extra mile on the weekends to make sure that everything's smooth, so nothing goes awry at the closing table. So that's a separator, is just my accessibility to clients. And I have, staff that answers calls, and they're fantastic, but I'm the point of contact too. And a lot of attorneys, they have, admin staff and that really handles a lot of the deal, a lot of their transaction. But for me, not saying that's bad to have, but for me, I like to be that single point of contact so that my clients and sellers and buyers and investors know, who they're talking to, because it's important, that first transaction.
That personal touch.
Yeah, it's so important, so that's a separator. And then just the educational piece and through transparency, and just the expansion too in different states. That's another separator. Indiana, Florida, New York, and of course Illinois in the Chicagoland area. So those are separators, among other things. I don't know if they all have the same voice.
Nah, dude.
Yes, but us as attorneys, we're very calm-natured people, but I don't know if they all have the same voice.
I would say too. I think sometimes attorneys get the bad rap of kind of being not even down to earth, but also you can't get a hold of them, or you can't reach them because their time is they're so busy. Yeah. But I love that it's no, that's not really what I'm going for. I want a more personal touch. I want to be able to approach me, feel comfortable, have a conversation, because at the end of the day, we're just people trying to move towards the same goal.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and even what clients like even better is at the end, they're not surprised at exuberant how the fee is. I let them know transparently at the beginning, it's going to be a very reasonable fee. Yeah. And they're like, oh, thank you, appreciate it, and
for the time being.
Yeah, because I don't charge for phone calls or text messages. Some do that, and that's fine. But because you got to pay the bills. But for me, I don't like doing that. Just so that clients have that ease. Yeah. That I'm not trying to nickel and dime, so to speak.
Yeah, and that leaves a good taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I want to talk about RJ. I want to sing his praise.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. Got it done. Didn't charge me for everything.
Exactly.
Which I get. I think I understand as a business owner that, like, hey, add-ons are part of it, and like you got to do that, but within reason.
Within reason, man.
Yeah, like I'm not trying. Like, if you want to talk about an idea, I'm here. And maybe that's just where we're at in our careers, where it still feels like we need to touch base, or at least like have that tangible conversation.
Sure.
Maybe we feel different in 10 years, but I hope at least that like that's not how we get or I get, because I think that's like an added level of service and commitment to service that I don't know if everyone has.
You're talking about the
just the ability to talk and like call them or text them and not be like I'm trying to nickel and dime you.
Right. Exactly right. I mean, the best testimonies I've gotten is, and my favorite ones are the ones where they say RJ went above and beyond, to help me when I had questions. No question was a dumb question for him. He was available in the evenings, on the weekends. And I'm like, I'm glad that they appreciate that because I'm passionate.
It makes you feel good, too.
It makes you feel good, and it's like I'm passionate about it. The experience is everything, you know, with any business. You know, you want to make your clients feel good at the end of the day, you know, because you're right. It leaves a good taste in their mouth, so to speak, you know, not that bitter taste.
Yeah, like, what did I just do? You know?
Exactly.
Why did I do that?
You know how it is. It's
So this is we're gonna kind of morph. I want to talk social media because at the end of the day, that's what we do. That's what this is, right? How are you seeing? Let me at least say this. I've noticed, and I don't see that many real estate attorneys utilizing it.
Yeah.
I feel like they either are like too nervous about it or they feel like they're too busy.
Sure.
Which there's answers on my end on all that. But what I see that you're doing it. I feel like you're putting a concerted effort, which I love.
Thank you.
But talk to me more about that.
The social media is the way now. You have to have it in a business. You have to put in that time. And that's what I do. And that's what we do at the firm. We're really passionate about getting our brand out there.
Yeah.
And the best way to do it is social media. And we really like to show, behind the scenes. We like to show ourselves in the community, doing pro bono work. And just, showing how awesome it is to be a lawyer.
Part of, yeah,
and a part of real estate.
Yeah.
A
part of the team.
A part of the team. Wow, I like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
that's good.
Really the idea of it, right? Wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, like showing the BTS, showing what it's like. I love the education stuff.
Yes.
Memo and we are staunch believers that the foundation of your social media should be education.
Yeah.
Because when people have questions and they're following you, they're going to go to your social media page. And that's how you can get them with just tidbits of information. You don't have to give them the whole steak.
Sure.
But you can give them a sizzle.
Give them a little sizzle.
And then they'll call you. It tastes nice, but then they'll hit you up on the back end.
Yes.
Which, that's really the idea. Like, I think people overcomplicate all of this.
Right.
It's like, again, keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Let's educate. Let's tell them where you are, where they can find you, and who you are. Like, that's it.
100%. 100%.
Which I think you're doing a pretty good job of.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you, seriously, because you all do a great job. And it's like you said, it's not as hard as it seems,
Yeah.
And just knowing that anything you put is going to be helpful, that it relates to your business, and giving the information that we know on like the back of our hand, but like other people have no idea.
Yeah.
Like if I asked you like which equipment is the best to use.
Yeah.
Like you would know, but I would have no idea.
Totally.
The same goes for me. Some people don't know, what a deed is or what title is. Why is it important? And I like explain that. Even in a business law context, that's what we do too. Like, which entity is the best for the business? Some people don't know that, And yeah, you can look online and on Google or use AI, whatever, but
YouTube University.
YouTube University, but really getting that from an expert is the key, or someone that is involved in it on a day-to-day basis.
See, this is one thing that I think is a huge play for lawyers.
Yep.
Using YouTube to your advantage and taking that long-form content, much like this podcast, creating your content from that you then can funnel back to your YouTube, which is something I don't think a lot of lawyers even think to do. No. But like I see that play. Who's doing that right now? No one.
Yeah, I don't.
So just a little thought out there. That's something, if I was you, I'd be thinking about. Like,
really?
Yeah, like
YouTube,
why not?
Yeah.
That's great. There's a lot of great organic growth from it, as well as you start getting. It's one of the only places that you can get paid from it.
Interesting. Ads, right?
Yeah. Well, not even ads. Well, yeah, ads. Yeah. But you build a big enough following. Other businesses want to get involved with that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of highbrow, high level. Like, definitely. I can give you the idea, but the execution of it is another idea.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, like, that's some of the things I say about the sizzles. Like, that's a great tidbit of knowledge.
Definitely.
That now sparks some ideas in your head. And that same concept is what you could be doing to all of your clients.
Yeah.
And, there is a personal vibe to what your social media should be, because you get hired, right, by the title companies more or less, or is it the real estate agents?
We're all on the same team, baby.
All on the same team, baby.
Like it flows. The real estate agent refers the attorney, and the attorney selects their title company of choice, and we just flow naturally in that progression.
But that's even what I mean too. Is like maybe your best idea is figuring out a personal side to it.
Definitely. Oh, good. Oh, that's a good idea.
Because people, you're selling to the agents, right?
No, yeah.
They're gonna want to know who they're working with, right?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that's an angle. Like, this is me. This is what it's like to work with me. I like Tame Impala.
Yeah.
I like sports.
That's our guy.
Yeah. So
good.
All of those things I think are like another avenue to your education piece.
I like that. I mean, YouTube is something that is definitely going to be added now, thanks to Bobby.
Let me know.
Seriously.
But all of it should be diversified. Like,
yeah.
And it should. And a lot of people are like, well, you need specific things for each platform, and sure, certain things do better on other platforms, but our biggest thing is like, let's just start with being consistent.
Yeah.
Let's worry about like the nitty gritty once you're built just a base.
Consistency is key.
Consistency builds trust, as Memo and I will say till we're blue in the face.
Yeah.
And that's consistency on everything. Like, if your brand's consistent, people will be like, oh, he's got it together. Yeah. If you're consistent with writing a deed, or I don't think you write them, but looking it over, then like it's the same idea. That concept, that principle is the same thing for everything.
Okay.
So
I like that.
Well, thank you. We think it's pretty the way people should be doing it.
Okay. Any other tidbits?
Not off the top of my head. I think I spewed a lot of the ones that are important to this and what all of this means and why we're doing it. Yeah. Like, there's a reason why we're sitting here talking. It's not just, well, obviously I want to get to know you, but
thank you. It's
a content situation. Like, we think all of this helps build our brand, helps us build the consistency.
Sure.
So I think we're at the part of the episode where, RJ, we'll give you your shameless plug. Tell people what you got going on, where they can find you, who you are, and on that camera.
Sure. So you all can follow me on Curington Law LLC on Instagram and find me on LinkedIn. YouTube is on the way. And, we're expanding to Florida and New York. And, we're in Indiana and Illinois right now. A book's coming out, so look out for that. it has to touch on a lot of the things we talked about today, but more so how a student athlete can transform themselves into a high school or elementary school student athlete to a college athlete, and all of the things involved in that process. It touches on NIL and other opportunities, and how to manage the workload and the schedule, and how to make the most of your years in college. And then also just for people interested in sports and interested in the life of a college athlete, a lot of it applies to what we do as business owners and things like that. And of course, if you want to talk about real estate or law or business law, or have a case that you want to just discuss, I'm always available. Want to thank the guys at Reup for having me on. It's been fantastic.
RJ, pleasure to get to talk to you.
Thank you, Bobby.
All right, everybody, this has been another episode of the Reup Productions Podcast. See you later.
See you later.